Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and once again I've been out raiding the rack, but this time I was actually just around the corner and I went and bought two plants from one of my neighbours. Now this neighbour, I had bidded on one of her plants online. It was a Philodendron gloriosum, a little cutting that is absolutely beautiful, and then when I was at her house she also had another plant that she asked me if I wanted to buy, and it was a Stromanthe Thalia Trio Star. Beautiful sized one, beautiful leaves, and I ended up buying that as well. Then, when I got home, she wrote me a message and said she's thinking about thinning out her plant collection. She needs a little bit more space. So if I'm interested, she will post pictures of some plants to me before she puts them online to sell them online. And that way I will get first pick or first choice if I want the plant or not. If I don't want the plant, she will sell it online. And I thought that was so nice of her because it gives me the chance to go out and get some plants that I don't have. And not just small examples, maybe some bigger examples or just beautiful examples that I know that have lived in a loving home where they've been very well taken care of. And I can go out and meet someone else in the community that loves plants as well and buy a couple of plants that they have. And I just think this is wonderful. So I live in Malmö. So if there's anyone around the Malmö area or in Skåne, because our crystal cottage is up in the north of Skåne, close to Småland and Blekinge, if anyone lives in those areas and they're thinking of selling plants, nice exotic plants, rare plants, whatever you have, and maybe they're too big to be able to sell online because you won't be able to ship them, you are welcome to write to me on my Instagram, gardens.and.crystals, and send me a picture and ask me if I'm interested in your plant. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, maybe I have it already, but at least you'll have a chance because I want to grow my collection and I want all sorts. And I do buy things online. But if you personally want to sell a plant and it's big and you can't sell it online, then it's okay to ask. I can say yes or no. So anyway, back to this wonderful person that sold me a couple more plants. I was only supposed to buy one plant of her. I've already, in 2 days, bought 4 plants off my neighbour. So yeah, anyway, this is another kind of raiding the rack because I'm still raiding her rack. No, that came out all wrong. No. So this is another kind of raiding the rack. It's just that I get to go to a neighbour and collect a plant myself that they're selling. And that's wonderful. That way I get to meet wonderful people out there in the community that love and enjoy plants. And we can buy plants of each other, swap plants with each other, and, you know, grow our own collections. So it's really wonderful. So anyway, I just want to open this first packet. She's packed it in really well for me. So let's just open this. Oh, so this is quite a big and long example of this plant. It's quite a heavy pot. And here we have it. I don't know how well it's supported or if it just lays down or whatever. So I'm just being a little bit careful as I get it out here. Whoops, it's falling down all over. I suppose it's supposed to do that. Here we have it. Oh, it's quite big. Isn't it wonderful? Look at that. It seems quite delicate. So I need to take care that the stems that are caught on top of each other don't snap or anything like that because I want to keep this wonderful bushy effect on this plant. Now look at that. That is a nice, big, beautiful plant. And the interesting thing about this plant is it's got lots of fine hairs all over the leaves and all over the stems. And this plant can get deep purple all over. And when it's not in as much light, it will revert back to a little bit more green. So this is greeny at the moment, but I can see a lot of purple under the leaves. And I can see that if this is put in bright indirect light, then all of the purple colour will shine out through the stems, the bottoms of the leaves and the tops of the leaves. And these plants also get beautiful flowers on them. So I'm hoping that next season it will flush out with beautiful flowers all over it as well. But look at this plant. It is so happy, so healthy, so bushy, so lovely. And another thing about these plants is that they do get very leggy because they grow quite fast, but you can always propagate them. You can cut them below a node and you can basically just stick that piece of the plant back in the pot and keep bushing out your plant that way. Or you can take them, cut them below the node and propagate them in water, and when they've got a few roots, put them back in the pot. And that is what I'll definitely be doing with this one, because it's got a lot of branching on one side of the pot and it's quite bare on the other side. So I have plenty of space to take cuttings and put them back into the same pot and keep it bushy. What a beautiful plant I got off this Neighbour. So I'm just going to try and bring it in so you can get a closer look. So look at all that. You can see the green sheen of the leaves and the purple, and it goes all the way down here, and the little hairs all over it. It's quite an interesting plant. So I'm really pleased about that this Neighbour got in contact with me and asked me if I wanted to buy this plant before she was going to sell it online. And I said yes, because I don't have one of these. I'm thinking I'm going to put this up on a shelf and let it grow so it does continue this cascading effect. I think that would be really nice over a white shelf. So I'm definitely going to do that, but I will propagate some pieces to push it out in the top, and you can just continue the process like that. This is a plant that is easy to propagate, so you can just keep continuing the process of any bits that get way too long, chop them up and propagate them. So what a lovely plant. From bidding and winning the bidding of one plant with this Neighbour, I ended up in 2 days buying 4. So as I said, that can work too. So the name of this beautiful plant is Tradescantia pallida Purpurea. Purpurea because it's purple all over, sheens of purple, and it gets dark purple and it can turn to this more green colour as well when it's not in bright light. But this is Tradescantia pallida Purpurea. Lovely. So I'll put that to the side. So it can cascade down and stay up there and you can see it. Absolutely wonderful. Right, now I have the 4th plant that I bought off my Neighbour. And just get this out. Oh, bit of dirt all over here. I'm going to get that all over my floor. So this little bundle of green sticks is my next plant. This is the beautiful Euphorbia tirucalli, and it is otherwise known as sticks on fire. And I've seen this on a lot of videos in California where they grow them in their gardens all over the place. And when this plant is in bright, direct light and it gets stressed because it's dry, it turns a bright red, a bright orangey red all the way through the tops of these stems. It completely changes colour. It's an absolutely fantastic plant. But if it's watered and it's in a shadier situation, it reverts back to total green, just as this beautiful little plant here is. So you can see that. A lot of beautiful little stems. There are actually 4 stems in the pot. But that doesn't mean anything, because this is a plant that you can just prune off anywhere on this plant and put that into soil and it will grow. It is easy to keep this plant. It is easy to grow. It grows quick in the right conditions with light, and it will thrive really, really well. It doesn't need a lot of humidity, and it will do well in your home. Just don't overwater it, because it is a euphorbia, so it can dry out in between watering. And then it will be fine. Euphorbias are not cactuses, people. People think these are cactuses, but it's not. It's a euphorbia. And it gets little tiny leaves all over. And when it goes dormant, this plant can go dormant. It will lose all its leaves, and then you'll just have all these sticks all over. And they're beautiful. Because it's thick and bushy like that, doesn't make any difference. It's wonderful. So I'm going to have this in our kitchen, which is an east-facing window, but it does get bright direct light in the morning and through the middle part of the day. And maybe next year we'll see it might change a little bit of colour. It might not, because it might need a lot more powerful direct light to make it turn this orangey red sticks on fire colour. But this beautiful Euphorbia tirucalli is wonderful. So I'm looking forward to having that in the kitchen where I have other succulent plants. I have cacti and I have another euphorbia in there actually. So it's going to fit really well in with all of those. And if it ever gets too long for me, then I can just take some cuttings and produce new plants and bush it out, put it in a bigger pot or whatever, and carry on the process. So look what I got from my wonderful neighbour this time. A beautiful and large Tradescantia pallida Purpurea and this beautiful Euphorbia tirucalli. And I don't know if you can see in the corner over here, underneath this tray here in the corner, that is where I have my Stromanthe Thalia Trio Star that I also bought from the same neighbour. And my Philodendron gloriosum is in a little bag, in a pot, propagating. So that I'm really looking forward to see does well, because I want it to be a big, beautiful plant like she had. Her plant had huge leaves. Oh, I want mine to be like that one day. So this is another part of my beautiful collection. And remember, as I said, anyone who lives in Skåne that has plants that they might want to sell, you are welcome to contact me and ask me if I'm interested. I can't have, and I definitely can't buy everything. Yeah, because it could just be nice to be able to get hold of some plants that have been in people's homes that I know have been nurtured and cared for, and they're beautiful examples. So that's what I have for you for this Raid in the Rack video. Thank you very much once again for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be uploaded. And I will see you with some more plants again very soon. Goodbye.